At 70 years old, Neysa King is in her first year out of nursing training.
Hi guys.
This is what she calls her retirement career.
It just fit. It just hit my chest like that's the right thing. That's what will light my fire, float my boat.
For much of her working life, Neysa was a high flyer at multinational corporations.
Probably every 8 weeks or so I'd be going overseas. So I'd worked in Singapore and Hong Kong, India, a little bit in Japan, Philippines. You're living a life of different time zones, so 2 a.m. calls and 11 p.m. calls, that sort of thing.
When Neysa wasn't having meetings in corporate boardrooms, she was looking after her late husband, who had young onset Parkinson's.
Because you're juggling a million balls, raising a son, doing a full-time job, taking care of my husband and advocating for him and making sure he's getting good health care. And you can't afford to get sick, I don't think. And I think your immune system knows that, so it holds you up. So I never got sick. I was very, very, very healthy all the way through. And then about 6 months afterwards, I had a medical problem, and I went and saw my GP. He sent me for an X-ray, came back, said, that X-ray is really good, but you have pancreatic cancer. So that was a lightning bolt.
Neysa survived the cancer, finding herself in her 60s, healthy, with an adult son and a lot more time on her hands than she was used to.
So I did the classical retirement thing, spent far too much money and did a bunch of travel with my sister. My sister and I went, she's very adventurous. So she and I went skiing. So we were going skiing to America for 2 weeks. It ended up being 8 weeks.
Then she started thinking about her next chapter.
And all of a sudden it was like I just had this epiphany moment where I realised I've got all these years ahead of me. And here am I, I'm only 67 or something, 66 or whatever it was at the time. And what am I going to do? And I can't sit and wait for God, And I just felt like I really needed to do something purposeful and meaningful. And the fact that I didn't have to go earn a big salary anymore. It was just this realisation that when I look back in my careers and all my different jobs, most of my careers, be it in nursing, be it in sales, be it in adult education, were all 15 years time slots. And suddenly here am I, 67, thinking, I've got at least 12 to 15 years more. I could slot in another career here. Do you want a cup of tea? Yes, please.
Neysa had worked as a nurse before, in the 1970s and 80s.
It was just that making people feel safe, feel heard, feel cared about, holding them up mentally, sometimes physically, when they're at their most vulnerable. Even if it was only for a few minutes, you touched people's lives, you made a difference.
More than 30 years out of the game, she went back to uni to retrain.
I remember turning up that first day and oh my gosh, I was terrified. I felt so like a zit on a nose, like it was so obvious. People would be wondering, what is this old lady doing here? But people, they were curious. They sat back a little initially, but within weeks, it was like I was just part of the gang. And it was wonderful. I went out for drinks after lectures. We had coffee.
Neysa is about to finish up her rotation at this hospital. Reflecting on her experience, it's the connection with her patients she's most passionate about.
So this lady is still here. She has really pronounced dementia. I mean, really seriously off the chart. She doesn't speak English, she only speaks language, so her bush language. We were walking down the corridor and she put her arm around my waist and she just put her head on my shoulder and I'm going to cry. Even though she was so demented, she knew that I cared and I felt really good, amazing. Yeah, sorry, I'm crying.